As I was walking up the stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish he'd go away. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 134. Spotlight on identity.
Superman.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the much fabled episode 134, Identity. I think we set out to do this episode
back in 2015.
Yeah, at least 3 months ago.
2002, it wasn't even out then.
Yeah. And here we are. I am your host this evening, and I will be ably assisted and accompanied by
Brett Summers.
And Paul Hawkins. Oh, here are you. You just think you're so famous you don't need to introduce yourself.
I am the host.
I did it.
You didn't say your name.
Did I not?
You just said I am the host.
I am the host.
Yeah.
I am the host.
I'm Damien Hicks t-shirt on or anything.
Yeah. I'm the host, Damien Hicks. Does that make you feel better?
Oh, it's nice to introduce yourself.
Okay,
you know.
fair dues.
For the new watchers.
I do apologise.
Yeah, such an ego there. I am the host. So you're the Rock now, the host.
Yeah, I got the eyebrow and everything. Look, see, I can do it. I can't now. I'm smiling. You can't do it when you're smiling.
I don't think you can do it on like video because you get sued by the Rock.
Anyway, let's not go straight into identity because.
Why would we?
You know,
We've only been waiting months.
We'll keep you waiting just a little bit longer.
At least half an hour. So, how have we been? It's been it must be a month since we even last got in this room, isn't it?
Yeah, probably was.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Anything exciting?
Had a birthday.
Cool.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Just
another year older, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sucks. But it was nice day.
Cool. Brett, anything exciting?
You've
had an MRI scan.
I had an MRI scan, I did.
Another one.
And he didn't break it this
I
time.
didn't break it this time, and it was really horrible, and I don't like them. But I did it. I was a big boy.
Did they give you a lollipop?
No, but Kate
They were
did.
just so
Kate
fucking...
did get me a bag of little gingerbread men things.
I wondered where that was going.
Yeah.
Gingerbread people.
Not gingerbread men anymore.
The bloody consultants were just so happy they didn't break another £1 million machine.
Did you have to go to the big hospital for it, or...?
No, it was the one, Adelaide Hospital.
Oh, yeah, I know the
Big
one.
shout out to stuff at Adelaide.
Adelaide? That's a long flight.
Yeah, that was.
NHS that bad?
Got DVT on the way out there.
He's got so many subscribers now. He can fly out.
they paid me. No, it was still a bigger tube. It wasn't the big tube that you go in, but it was still the MRI.
All right, Brett, there's no need to show off.
But I thought it was just going to be more like a sort of donut ring sort of thing of it, but it was still quite a bigger tube. But I didn't have to go as far in it or whatever, so it was okay.
That's what she said.
You didn't go balls deep?
More up to my waist.
All right, fair.
That's more like the centipede.
No, it was about here. I could just get my arms out, and so I had to keep my arms up, which is great for 20 minutes and then 20 minutes. With the button in it that you don't want to press. But the second one
There's
really
so many
hurt.
puns here.
Oh, I know. I'm loading them up. Join in at home. Now, so I did the first one, then the second one, it was mainly I had to keep my leg in the same position, which was the reason I was in there. So when it was like within about a minute, when it was in complete pain and agony, and I was not allowed to move for like 20 minutes, I was hailing like a banshee.
Did you feel like you're in some Japanese game show?
Yeah, it's like endurance.
No,
Chris Tarrant
no one jumped out of a water pistol while I was there or anything to put me off. Or...
Then a tube starts filling up with water. I can't get out. I can't get out. Hello.
No, it was it was very horrible. I was very grey when I came out, and I felt very sick. It was kind of like just
and no symbiotes came out of you or anything?
Not yet. Only the usual ones that get to flush away. But no, it was like being on like a long flight. You just felt a bit battered from the shakiness of it. My ears were hurting a bit. And just kind of that sort of jet laggy feeling, where you just, everything aches, I'm tired and I feel a bit sick. Yeah.
Huh.
It was a bit like that.
I suppose you don't get results for a while yet.
2 weeks.
Cool.
The appointment's booked and everything. I just got to wait for 2 weeks. But, they've got them now. They could tell me now. But, why not build it up even more?
Yeah, exactly.
We've waited 2 years.
It's got to go about 4 different consultants to be verified.
That's what I mean. It's all... But, we'll keep you posted. I'll open the envelope live on it.
MRI chat. Yeah, go on, do a Trump. Here's my results. What about you, Damien?
No, not a lot. I don't think I went round your house on your birthday.
You did. Thank you for coming.
For your little soiree.
I wanted to. We worked very well.
Oh, I know. Don't worry. It wasn't a dig. Well, it was, but only a little one.
Bought myself a wah-wah pedal.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you said.
It's cool. Like it.
Has everything got wah-wah in now?
Yeah. Everything I write now has wah-wah in it. It's brilliant.
Oh, I'll have to rein you back in.
Yeah.
Use it sparingly.
I've gone full 70s.
Can you hook it up to the mics?
I don't know, actually. You probably... No, you can't. No, it's a different connection.
Different connection. But on a mic sound, you could wah-wah it.
Yeah, it could probably
Can't
be.
No
it's got to be a way.
Other vocal effects pedals. Get it?
Yeah, it's got to be a jack.
We could do a Jeff Wayne's War the World type.
Or Hawk the Slayer. Very, very similar soundtrack.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to put that on my list of films to do.
Too similar. We did Hawk the Slayer.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Kate's favourite film. Sorry.
Is it really?
No.
That's one where he doesn't wear much and the women don't wear much. Yeah?
Yeah, and it's Jack's dad from Lost.
No, we haven't.
We did Hawk the
We
Slayer.
have not. It's not on the list of our done films.
We did in my timeline. We
It's
did
the
Hawk the
Mandela.
Slayer.
We have not done Hawk the Slayer.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking Beastmaster.
Done Beastmaster.
Yeah, Hawk the Slayer is the one that we always talk about doing, but no one ever does it.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely
why
not.
did I make her watch it?
I don't know why you made her watch it.
You're
sorry,
so
Kate.
mean.
Yeah, you don't need to watch it.
No. Is it the Matthew Broderick one?
No, it's
That's
Jack's
Lady
dad.
Hawk,
no,
isn't
it's,
it? Yeah.
It's Jack's dad from Lost.
Yeah, I know the film.
And,
I get those two.
And a couple of old British actors.
Yeah.
And
Hold on, how do we get onto this if none of us has watched it yet?
Yeah. Let's not dwell on it.
but the soundtrack is basically
Soundtracks.
the soundtrack is basically War of the Worlds in a slightly different key.
Cool.
It's not the Alan Parsons project, is it?
No, it's some other dude who got loads.
But
of
they
credit.
they did something.
They did Sirius and Eye in the Sky,
Oh, okay.
and that's the one the Chicago Bulls always use now when they come out.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
No. Anyway,
I'm not a synthesizer of music. Well, I am, but not in that way.
okay, fair enough. Anything else? No, nothing else. I've got an appointment through to have the electrodes attached to me to check my arm out, so that's something to look forward to.
What is it with you two?
It's just like medical talk.
Yeah.
I don't
We're gonna branch off into a different podcast of ailments.
Old Man Ailments.
I'll just be there like trying to kick myself so I can get
Oh,
random bruising.
last time you came here, you could barely walk because of your back. So
Yeah, but that went.
yeah, well,
I
this
didn't
isn't
need-
going.
I didn't need an MRI
Tune
or any
into
electrodes.
Our new podcast, Piles of Piles. Pile on with the piles.
I just start up a keto recipe one, even though I've stopped doing that because I felt really ill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Boring.
probably a good thing.
Yeah, cool.
yeah. So that's that. So that takes us on nicely in
Through
some
18
way.
different genres.
Yeah, into what we
Cult
watched.
faction!
So I will go to Mr. Hawkins first.
okay.
What televisual delights have you been watching? One at a time, please. Where we all get a go.
So as I was saying, I think I've probably watched most of the internet and everything that's available to stream that I actually
'Cause you
would
have
be
no
interested
life.
in. Yeah, pretty much.
That's why your eyesight's going.
However, I did watch, because it's available to buy. Yes, Danny Watts, I know there's other ways to watch stuff without buying it. I just don't have one of those USB stick things. But
It's illegal.
And it's illegal. However, you can hook me up. Then, thank you. I watched Conclave.
We'll talk after.
Conclave.
I am talking now.
This is the Pope thing.
This is the Pope thing, yeah, with Ralph Fiennes and
what's the ending?
Stanley
When I saw it
Tucci.
on the news, he was still in a coma.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah, so Pope dies.
Spoilers.
He dies at the very.
I thought
That makes this non-evergreen.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
Pope dies in the film. Ralph Fiennes is in charge of making sure that they vote a new Pope in. A lot of politics, but in a good way. I mean, it's proper Catholicism.
Full on Dan Brown.
Yeah,
But do they cover
No,
that?
not Dan Brown as such.
But
But
do
you've
they
got the
cover
Italian
that question that everyone's wanted answers for years?
Which one do they have gold in the
Does the
vaults, or-
Pope smoke dope?
Well, he's dead.
Does he
So-
shit in the woods?
I can't.
And our exorcism's real.
So this is Ralph Fiennes trying to make sure that the conclave goes well, and they elect the new pope. But again, there's different factions of bishops all trying to be pope. So you've got the Italians, you've got the Africans, you've got the European,
What was Black Panther?
Europeans. It didn't come into anyway. And then from out of the blue, there's a lot. Oh, I don't want to give it away, so I won't.
I'm guessing there's a new Pope.
Yeah.
So there is a new pope.
Oh,
I'm never going to watch it.
Oh,
So I
okay,
don't
cool.
care.
So basically, from out of the
apparently
blue,
when the smoke changes, that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
from out of the blue, a cardinal pops up from Syria or
Is
somewhere
it Cardinal
like that.
Richelieu?
No,
Cardinal Wolsey.
no.
Cardinal Crime?
You're just going to
Cardinal
extend
sin.
how much I'm waffling. Lo and behold, no one's ever heard of him before, but
Dave. Cardinal Dave.
he becomes the Pope. But there's a twist at the end.
Is he the devil?
So it is generally a film about the choosing of a pope.
Yeah, but the twist at the end is kind of what makes it
Is he the Antichrist?
a bit weird.
Is he the
In
Antichrist?
if you were a Catholic, because he's not just a normal person.
Oh no,
Jesus.
he's not a sexual deviant.
I wouldn't use the word deviant, but it turns out that he has both genitalia. Or he had a uterus. He's got a uterus and he's got the other bits.
So had a uter twist in the toe.
That doesn't even go.
I know.
Anyway, right, let's move on because it's,
Yeah.
But it's a good film, apart from they didn't really need to do the ending, apart from they were trying to make a statement, I feel like.
it sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a shame, because
Even better if he was like Satan or something.
really good up to that point.
It could have been a metaphor.
They even
Yeah.
pulled out John Lithgow before he appears as Dumbledore in the
Dumbledore.
new Lord of the Rings,
Lord of the Ward.
Harry Potter series.
Lord of the Ward.
A
Lord of
new
the Ward.
hospital
Yeah.
drama.
Well,
That's where we're gonna
being
be with
around
our
you two,
electrodes.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, don't buy it. Wait for
I
it to
wasn't planning
come
to.
out if you're going to watch something like that. Sunday afternoon film. Evening
For all
film.
the family. Sounds exciting.
Once the kids have gone to bed.
I bet the fight scenes are good though.
There's no fight scenes.
Oh.
Anyway, that's my first one. Brett, what
Okay,
you been
Mr.
watching?
Summers.
Okay, on a similar educational, deep thing about popes and stuff, I was watching a really cool film.
Cocaine Bear.
No, that
Cocaine
is a really
Shark.
cool film and deserved an Oscar, not like some of that other toss. Right, oh, it's so meaningful. No one watched it, so we'll give it an Oscar. But anyway, it stars Jamie Foxx, who I think has won an Oscar before.
He has, yeah.
Dave Franco, whose brother we don't talk about anymore. And it features a musical star who may or may not have won an Oscar by the name of Snoop Dogg. Day Shift.
Oh, I watched that, yeah.
Yeah. It's basically Jamie Foxx is a estranged father from his wife and daughter who doesn't really tell him what he does for a job. He's actually a vampire hunter.
Cool.
He works the day shift, so he has to get them in the daylight. There's a night shift and a whole organisation.
Oh, I think I'd take the day shift all day long.
No,
Yeah.
you're not allowed.
Uh,
That's where you don't get much money.
Is it
It's
not?
not as much, and it's like it's the shit end of the stick. And
Well, I don't
he
know.
wants back in. He done some stuff wrong, and he's been stuck on the day shift. He wants
Why
back
is
in.
it the shit end of the stick? I'm thinking they're asleep.
Yeah, but like
much
when you
easier.
kill them, you get their teeth, and the teeth are worth money, and you can cash them in. But it's like the ones on the day shift are like the rubbish ones. You want the hardcore vampires because their teeth are worth more.
Okay.
And all
It
that
doesn't
sort
really
of stuff.
explain why the day shift isn't that good. Because I'm with you. You think I'm going to kill more, and they're going to be easier to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, but they're harder to find.
He has to find like $10,000 or whatever
Yeah.
to.
So he gets his goodbye Snoop to get him back on a night shift on a promise, on probation and all that. And a wild melee of fun and excitement unfolds.
Sounds good. I like the sound of
Yeah,
this.
it's on Netflix.
I think I have seen the title
It's
card
it's
for it.
free.
It's a no holds barred. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It kind of becomes because he teams up with the Square executive union guy who's got to go with him, who's also a vampire dude, and of course they're never going to get along, and they do. And they learn from each other so much, and then it kind of all goes wrong and goes right, and there's a big showdown and stuff, and it's really cool, and it's just one of those good fun movies that kind of Actually, people go, "Oh my god, how dare you say that?" But it reminded me a lot of John Wick, in which it doesn't take
The
long.
killing sequences are.
A lot of killing thing, but it establishes its own sort of world with rules, and there's a whole society and the organisation of the vampire hunter people, and the fact there's a day shift and a night shift, and how to get on it. And it's got all these different rules and things that they have to follow, and because there's a lot of like Article 2, subsection 6.c says that you can't do this and all that sort of thing, and he's like, "Oh damn it!" And yeah, it's just really cool, and they should make more. I'll leave it there. 'Cause I don't really, you want to watch it. I don't want to spoil it. But,
Yeah, fair enough.
But solid fun, really good. That's what it says on the tin, really. But and it's got Snoop Dogg in it, who is really stretching himself playing a character called Big John, who is basically this laid-back cowboy-like vampire hunter who smokes weed and talks and acts a lot like Snoop Dogg does.
Cool. Damien,
Yeah.
what have you been watching?
So I will start with Bad Sisters season 2 on Apple TV.
Is that the one where one's got an eye
One's
patch
got an eye
and all
patch.
that?
That's
So,
right. Yeah. So the first season's really funny, dark, lot like proper dark humour, as you'd expect from.
I watched it on
Sharon-
Gogglebox.
I forget the surname. Anyway, so it's set in Ireland. First season, one of the sisters' husband is murdered, and it kind of tracks the story of who did it and how and whatnot.
Yeah.
Second season opens with them chucking something over a cliff, from a boot of a car, and then it obviously goes backtracks.
Is it a body?
Well, it's a body. That's not a. Is it a body? I can't remember. Anyway, it's nowhere near as good as the first season. There's far less humour in it. It's veered into melodrama. So it was a bit of a struggle to get through it, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, you managed to do it though.
Yeah, I got through it because I wanted to know.
It's just
what
one of those
the thing
ones where
was.
they had a really good idea and they did it, but then they just had to make another one because everyone liked it.
Well, I don't know because it's based on a different series from Belgium, so I don't know whether it was just the first season that was based on the one in Belgium, and then they've taken
Carried
it,
it on,
or
like,
they've gone, they've put on, or they made a second season in Belgium. We'll do the same because it does say written by, I forget her name now, the one that was in.
Doesn't matter.
No, I'm not going to go down that route. But yeah, so it's not as good as
not
the
gonna watch
first
it.
season. No, first one was good.
I'll listen to you.
It's funny.
I like the bits I watched of season 1. It was on Gogglebox, so they kind of done all the major scenes. So I feel like I've watched it when
Yeah.
I haven't really, if you know what I mean.
But yeah, it was very funny. Paul, you go next. I'm just going to check because I've got this horrible feeling I've not pressed record on that.
Okay.
But you carry on
It's one for
talking.
you, viewers.
just have-
Has he pressed record? He's coming to get you.
Well, we'll just have the title card for the first bit and then carry on.
Okay, so the action star that never really made it as a real action star in his own right. Frank Grillo.
He's doing all right for himself.
He's doing all right for himself, but he hasn't quite made it to the next level up, has he?
Crossbones in Marvel.
He hasn't leveled up, which I think was one of his films, surprisingly enough. So
For listeners, we're all good.
Werewolves on Amazon.
Yeah, see, I watched the trailer for this when it popped up.
I told you I was desperate to watch films.
Yeah.
So every full moon or super moon, for some reason that they don't really explain, people turn into werewolves if they see the moon.
Isn't it a curse?
They don't explain if there's a curse. They just
Brian
everyone
Glover said it was a curse.
everyone
that
on
was
the,
every full moon. This is
yeah.
every super moon.
everyone on the planet turns into a werewolf. Frank Grillo is some kind of action hero, scientist, ex-military doctor type thing. They've tried to put in every kind of genre you
Does
can.
he wear a shirt?
Yeah, it was some of it. Yeah, he's also a nice uncle. So before,
So he's got a reason.
oh yeah, reason, yeah. So before the next supermoon comes up, he's making sure that his sister-in-law's and niece's house is werewolf-proof. Then he goes off to try and work on a vaccine. They try and get a vaccine, almost works, but for some reason, even though they inject some people with it, they all turn into werewolves. But anyway, they inject themselves, and it turns out it lasts for a little bit. So all hell kicks off, and it's him trying to get back to make sure that his niece and sister-in-law are all A-OK. All the while their neighbours, who you meet earlier on, that are pretty weird anyway, have turned into werewolves and trying to break in and kill them. Anyway, it ends with Frank Grillo deciding that the only way he can save the day is by turning into a werewolf. So they have a big werewolf fight at the end. It's really bad.
Yeah, that's why I didn't bother.
Yeah. Don't
watch it.
don't do it.
No, fair enough.
Cool, right, Mr.
I
Summers.
watch the films, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing. Where's it gone?
You think you'd be ready, wouldn't you?
Well, I was, but then everyone did stuff. New show that has just come out, 1,000 Blows.
Oh yeah, I think I might have seen some of them.
No, you said you'd watch the whole of the
Is that on
internet.
OnlyFans?
Oh, nothing to do, been in a tunnel. It is the new Disney Plus series from the creators of Peaky Blinders.
Oh, this is the boxing one.
Yeah, it's London. Oliver Twist. While
Oh,
Oliver
blimey,
Twist
Gav.
was off doing that, this is what the grown-ups are up to.
Right.
And you've got Stephen Graham.
Yep.
Yep.
He really bulked up for this
Yeah,
one.
no, he's in better shape now than he was in. I'm sorry, this is England. He's like 20 odd years old now, and he looks
Well, that's
better
all we
than
need to
that.
do. We need to become
And
famous
Snatch.
and get into an action film, and then we'll have the personal trainers and stuff that'll help
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
But and the main woman in it is
The main woman,
the main chick,
the main squeeze.
the main lady, the female actor. No, actor. Hi, Greg Wallace. I'm with you now. She was the young Princess Anne in The Crown, but it took me ages. But people watch that. It was, I can't remember her real name, but that's who she played. But she's like a real sort of street. She's like king of the queen of the streets. You know, like of all the gangsters and all that. She's like the top lady.
Queen of Streets, QRS.
And all that. She's like about, and then there's two gentlemen from Jamaica who have come over to England because one of them wants to learn to be a lion tamer. That's like his childhood goal. And then he goes to the zoo where the man promised him a job, and the man's got like a cage up with like it's got like the wild African written above it, and he suddenly realizes where this is going, and locks him in the cage. And of course now they're stuck. They got no money. They're in London. They've only got 2 bob left. But they're
bob.
both really good at boxing.
Oh, that's a stroke of luck.
And there's a boxing thing, and it's Stephen Graham and his younger brother, who you'll recognise. He was in Shameless for a while, I think, years ago. But he's one of those you'll recognise him. He's
a
been in
Graham.
stuff. But I've only watched the first episode so far. It sets itself up very well. I mean, it's quite edgy. It's quite street. I mean, it's one of those things. All these people pretty much existed. because it's based on real historical characters. Obviously, how much they all cross paths and at what time period and that. I mean, I'll look that up as it goes along. I haven't got the desire to do the research yet.
Get Queen Victoria come along, sitting ringside.
But no, it's really good at the moment. You can
Off
see
with his head.
You can see where it's going to go in some ways, in who might fall in love with who and why and what. And I think there's going to be a love triangle with the Jamaican
Stephen Graham
man, Stephen Graham, and the other lady.
Stephen Graham wants to get on with a lion tamer, does he? That would be a twist.
Yeah, that would be. And his brother might actually. I didn't think that in it. But anyway, it's really good. It's a bit gritty, obviously a bit sweary.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very much, if you like Peaky Blinders and that sort of thing, you'll like this. And I'm hopeful that it might surpass. It's one of those, I think, if it had come out first, people might have liked it better. Because I think it might suffer from what I call Futuramaism.
What do you mean if it came out first, as opposed to what?
Peaky
Blinders.
Blinders.
Oh, I see. Right.
I think it's a bit of Futuramaism, where Futurama is probably superiorly made and has better jokes than The Simpsons do, because they've learned from when they make that. But because The Simpsons did it all first anyway, it will always be the genius that it is. And I think that might be the same with this one. I think this might be a better put together and better written show than Peaky Blinders, but it's not Peaky Blinders, sort of thing. But yeah, both are good. Go and watch them. But it's all on. I think they're all on Disney Plus now. You just got to sort of get through them.
Cool.
But so far so good.
Okay.
Damien.
So I decided to watch a film, which I rarely do these days, unless it's for this podcast in particular. On Amazon, Elevation.
Mm-hmm.
So the premise is some time ago. Don't think it actually states how long ago. Some creatures arrived and started wiping out the human race indiscriminately.
I hate it when they do that.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Selfish.
And the only way to survive was to get to an elevation. I think it's 8,000 feet, 10,000 feet, whatever it is.
10,000 feet or something, yeah.
Yeah.
What would that be for us? That lot on top of the Bargate?
No, that would be on top of Snowdon. Would be our closest.
They're already quite high up.
I don't think they're that high, are they? Oh, no. Maybe I'm thinking meters.
You never build a school.
Oh, was it meters or feet? No, it's feet because it's
Yeah.
states. Yeah.
You never build a school up
We
there.
might be all right. Ben Nevis.
Depends if it's from sea level or ground level. They don't
They
make
don't
that
say
clear
that.
either.
Do you reckon we'd be all right in a couple of the old tower blocks of the council estates? Because
No.
the animals
So
wouldn't like them.
Well, you weren't there, but I've jumped from 20,000 feet, so it is 10,000 feet is quite high. So
It's really high.
Yeah, but council blocks are hard.
it's not as high as that.
They're like if you
Anyway,
hard.
let's just move on because we're spending too much time on what is actually essentially a shit film.
No, it is.
So it opens with a load of people living up in, I think it's Colorado or something up in the mountains. But there's this guy who's got a kid. His kid is on some sort of ventilator machine, and they're running out of medicine for his machine. So he's going to have to go to the hospital storeroom to go and get some of this medicine.
Go, Daddy.
He goes with someone else from they've made a makeshift village up in these mountains. So three of them go. One's a scientist with a penchant for shooting guns.
The other one wants to be with him.
Yeah, the other one is just some random 20-something who wants to tag along.
Gary, you in the red shirt, come over here.
Exactly, it is not too far from that. So it's painfully obvious who's going to get killed. The scientist girl, eventually, because of her research she was doing prior to being up in the mountains, figures out a way to destroy these creatures. And then it turns out these creatures, well, just in case anyone actually gives a shit.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Are they from Earth anyway?
No, they are mechanical. They're not organic.
Robots.
And then the film ends with the two of them looking up at the stars and two meteorites or something is coming back, is heading for Earth. So they were clearly alien in Origin,
Sequel.
and they're setting up a sequel, which hopefully they don't do.
I'd be surprised if they managed to get the viewers for this
To be
one.
fair, it's not a bad premise. You know,
Has
it's
it
in the
got
same
anyone in
ilk.
it? Do we know anyone in it?
The girlfriend, I think she is anyway. I think the scientist. I'm that disinterested. I've not bothered to look this up, but I think the scientist lady is the girlfriend of Deadpool. Maybe.
Oh, Monica
Or-
Beckerin.
Actually, no. I think she was in Gotham.
Yeah, same one.
So yeah, so her,
Yeah.
she's in it. But yeah, it's of the same ilk of Quiet Place and the other ones where it's like
You can't
you
talk
can't
or
do
something,
something in
yeah.
particular. But it's just not executed very well. It is not. There's no fear in it whatsoever. You don't really care for the characters because it's painfully obvious from the outset. He's going to get his drugs for his son, and she's going to find the cure. There's only 3 people in the film for most of it. The rest of them are just random villagers that he has a conversation
Cannon
with.
fodder.
Did you
Yeah.
call it Altitude?
No, Elevation.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's got Anthony Mackie in that we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
He's watchable, don't get me wrong.
I like him.
There's nothing wrong with the people in it.
He's Captain America.
Yeah, I know. He plays Anthony Mackie, that he does in every film. He's good, though. It's just let down by the film.
Yeah.
Film's rubbish.
Bad script.
A bad script and bad direction because you don't feel anything for the characters. There's just nothing.
No.
It's like a very short episode of X-Files or something. Oh, sorry, it's like it would have been a good episode of X-Files where it's,
Yeah.
but they've
I know.
just stretched it out.
Yeah.
2 hours or something.
Yeah. So you think back to the Walking Dead Terminus series where they were just walking on the train tracks for 10 episodes
It's,
or whatever
it's,
it was.
it's like a poor version of the one where they can't make a sound, otherwise the aliens will get them.
Yeah, that's what I said, Quiet
Yeah.
Place.
Yeah. Or the other one where
They can't look at them.
they can't look
Yeah.
at them. Beekeeper, bird box.
Bird Box.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, they've just come up with another random idea where
Yeah.
they can't.
It's one of the
can't
things that actually
upload
probably
10,000
wouldn't have
feet.
made a bad series to stretch out.
But also, if they were robots, then surely they would be able to go up 10,000 feet.
I don't know. I didn't write it.
maybe it's a range thing. Maybe
Yeah.
they can't fly further.
Might be like the Proclaimers. they
God.
can only walk certain feet.
So they've got a set amount of time. They can,
Then you have to walk back.
distance they can walk.
I would have got them, love, but I ran out of steps. I had to come back to you.
Anyway, Paul, over to you.
Oh,
What else you got on your list?
last one for me. Terrifier.
The first one.
Yeah.
I still want to watch all these. I haven't had the chance
So
yet.
I can't pluck up the courage to watch the Human Centipede on my own.
Have you not seen it?
No. I wouldn't
It's good.
mind.
It's just disturbing.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but
not scary.
see, I don't mind scary.
It's not scary. It's just I'd put it on the lines of what was something like Hostel, where it's just disturbing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't normally do it. Anyway,
No, that genre of horror doesn't appeal to me either.
yeah. But I thought, well, Terrifier 3's come out. Everyone keeps raving about it. Everyone obviously passes out and faints at the cinema and throws up.
If you believe Lad
Yeah,
Bible.
exactly. So I thought I'd give the first one a go.
I did that in a Little Mermaid.
It's all right.
Sorry, Kate.
It's okay. There's this clown that turns up and he's obviously a bit weird. Starts following some girls around. Tries to give one of them a ring or something. I can't remember now, but like he's pretending to
She's not got a
propose.
phone.
She's not interested. Anyway, it turns out that he may go off on a killing spree. Obviously, the girls are a bit involved. I mean, it's nothing that you haven't really seen from a slasher film, apart from it's a different version of Pennywise that actually is, just going off killing people. There's one good killing scene where he's got a girl chained upside down by her legs, and he cuts through her with a saw while she's awake. That's a bit different. I haven't seen that before in such a way. Some of the effects are all right. It's all right.
Cool.
It's not brilliant. Don't buy it. I don't think I had to buy it. I think the first two are at least free on one of the stream platforms. It might be Paramount.
I think they're on Amazon or Paramount. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I might watch another one, but I'm not fussed.
Fair dues.
Well, that was the thing. The first one was like the sleeper. I think the first one was the video the kids were passing around at school type thing, and then
And it surprised
slowly
me, 'cause
gained steam. And by the last one,
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a cheap budget, don't bother, but actually the effects are quite good in it. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Mr. Summers?
I've been on a little bit. I'm going to do a 2-for-1 here. If that's okay.
A twofer.
We're getting a twofer.
Yeah, it's two. I've been on a little bit of a nostalgia journey as
Jesus,
well.
Here we go.
No,
21 Jump Street.
The Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel have put all 4 of the original series of Transformers on there now, where you can. Well, there's one where it just streams them all 24/7, and there's an individual one where you can watch each episode as it goes along. And I'm currently half, and they're all like uncut or whatever it was, because we had bits cut out because it was too violent in this country or whatever. So they're all uncut, but you can't really tell much of a difference, I don't think. But I'm up to series 3 now, which is the one that carried on after the original movie. And whilst the animation is a bit clunky at times, a lot of it is so well written, and series 3 is put so much into like the history of Cybertron, the planet, and where
Transformers
it comes
was
back from,
always good. Yeah.
and all that. You know, it's just you forget like, yeah, okay, it's a cartoon series for kids to sell toys, but there's some deep writing in it, and it's really good.
It's back when they put effort into these things.
You know, and it's just sort of like
Ulysses.
And some of the writers are actually people that have gone on now. Like I recognise the names from like comics and different things, and you know, and it's just so well done, and it's just a shame that Michael Bay and his cronies ignored all that.
Don't go there. We always do that. Just
yeah,
let
but
it go.
but it's there. You know, you've got the stuff there. It's done, and and I'm nearly at the end of season 3. Season 4 is when it goes Headmasters and all Target Masters and all that to come. So I know there's only about 4 or 5 episodes of that, but yeah, it's really good. And the other one I've been carrying on with on Amazon on their live TV channels. Like they've got the Outer Limits.
Yeah.
So I've just been having that on whilst I'm doing stuff and just going through. And there are some fantastic episodes and some fantastic guest appearances. There's a few dodgy ones as well, but at the moment now it's gone back round to the old black and white ones. So you get all the old black and white ones, then the 90s series, and some of the black and white ones are good stories, but obviously the visuals don't hold up.
But they would benefit from a remake.
Yeah, if they just the scripts are there, people go and take them. And also now,
Or don't everyone, because they are probably copywritten still. So
and also now
just take
on Amazon, on their TV channels where you can just dig in and watch a series, they've got something called 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
And so I've picked up where I left off, where it came off of the other one, and watching Jason Priestley as a mad punk rocker with a baseball bat threatening to kill people is quite interesting when you can clearly see he can just about swing the thing because it's too heavy, and he looks scared that someone might hit him back. But there's been a few people turn up in that. Sherilyn Fenn was in one. Actually, Jason Priestley was in 2. He was a different character about 4 episodes later. And they seem to be doing all these channels now as well. There's an Addams Family one, there's a Voltron one, and then they've also got like the on-demand of all these series. That I think they've just bought out. What was the old app that used to be on there that had all the old programs on?
Don't know.
Oh, what was it called?
Pluto.
Pluto. No, Pluto's still on there. But I think they've just done that and absorbed it into the Amazon family.
Canon,
yeah. But there's a lot of stuff now. If you dig on Amazon now, there's a lot of old series on there, either running on their live channels or on their that you can watch, just stream it through, where you get a shitty advert in the middle, normally about umbrella thing you can put over a bike and ride it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's the same advert all the time. It's just like, let's give me a different advert. I'm not going to buy a bike till I can buy that. But yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of nostalgia on there, and it's fun. But the Outer Limits, I think, is something. If we had the time, it would be a good one to just, like we did with Inside Number 9, just go through them one day, because there's some great stories, and some of them have clearly been acquired and developed into
Expanded
different
upon
films and
into films, yeah.
different films and shows that we've seen. But some great episodes.
Cool.
Okay, I've got a couple of things, and then we'll move on to Spotlight. I'll start with Unforgotten on ITV. So this is, I don't know, series 6, I think. Nicola Walker left 2 seasons ago
right.
now.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as good as it was when she was in it. Still good writing though. Still, I mean, to be fair, this season was a bit overly preachy. You had a GB News parody channel that were obviously everything was wrong about them.
You don't need to do a parody channel for
No,
that.
but you know what I mean. It is.
They couldn't call it GB News, so they called it something else.
The guy that had been murdered was
It was a BG News now, big teeth and medallions.
he was a right wing something or another. So there was a lot of political stuff rammed down your throat. But again, still good writing. And on Apple TV, I've started watching Invasion. There's 2 seasons on there. It's a couple of years old. I think you might have already watched it.
I think I watched one series that didn't.
Yeah.
Is that the one years ago on Channel 4?
No.
Different
This is like one of Apple TV's originals.
Oh, okay.
From like, I think it's from
So
2022.
there's one with that blonde lady, wasn't it? And she'd go in the bath and breathe underwater and stuff.
No idea.
No, it's different.
I'm about 6 episodes in and fuck all's happened.
Yeah. I think that's why I probably didn't go back to it.
Yeah. I'm determined to get through season 1 because they were clearly going for some sort of epic series. I don't know if it continued after season 2 because it's probably around the time of COVID and all that, so it may not have come back round. Like Severance was made in 22 and they've only just done the 2nd season of that.
Yeah, it may just died out after the 2nd season. I genuinely don't know.
No, me neither. But I'm now watching it just to see actually what has invaded because we're not even seeing that yet. and yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Anything else?
No.
No? Cool.
Oh,
here we go.
Hold on, we will get on to Identity after 4 months, but just not
No,
yet.
I was just going to say...
He's just done a Columbo.
Have you been to San Marie lately?
No, I've got I'm about 3 episodes behind.
Okay. I'll keep quiet then. But there's
I think the last one I watched was the one where he was on the zip wire.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on. That's all I will say.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll leave it there. But enjoyable still.
Yep.
I think it's the last one this week, or there might be 2 more. I've lost track of how many there's been now.
Yeah.
But there is a really good one coming up that was a really good one that you've got. And then okay, I'll wait on that.
Cool, thanks for that, Brett.
Yeah, we'll do a series round.
But it's really good. Watch Death
That's 2 minutes we're never going to get back.
Not the first person who said that to you.
Identity is a 2003 American slasher film directed by James Mangold, written by Michael Cooney. Inspired by Agatha Christie's 1939 Whodunit, and Then There Were None. The film follows 10 strangers in an isolated hotel who are temporarily cut off from the rest of the world and mysteriously killed off one by one. Several events which take place in the hours before the characters' arrival are introduced at key moments in the film using reverse chronological structure. And, in a parallel story, a murderer awaits a verdict at a crucial trial that will determine whether he will be executed for his crimes. The film grossed over 90 million worldwide, making it a box office success against its 28 million budget, and was nominated for Best Action, Adventure or Thriller Film and Best DVD Special Edition release at 30th Saturn Awards, but lost to Kill Bill Volume 1 and Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, respectively.
It was up a bit against some stiff competition.
It was, yeah. The cast.
Yes.
John Cusack as Ed Dakota, a limousine driver and former LA police officer. Ray Liotta as Samuel Rhodes, a correctional officer transporting a convicted murderer. Amanda Peet as Paris, Nevada, a sex worker leaving Las Vegas to buy a citrus grove in Florida. John Hawkes as Larry Washington, the hotel manager or motel manager. Clea DuVall as Ginny Isena, a superstitious newlywed. Williams Lee Scott as Lou Isiana, Ginny's husband. Jake Busey, yes, as Robert Maine, a convicted murderer being transported by roads. Rebecca De Mornay as Caroline Suzanne, an 80s Hollywood TV actress who's been chauffeured by Ed. John C. McGinley, legend, as George York, Alice's husband and Timmy's stepfather. Layla Kenzel as Alice York, George's wife and Timmy's mother, who was injured in a car collision. Here's an interesting one. Brett Lehr, I would guess, Lehr, as Timmy York, Alice's son and George's stepson. Pruitt Taylor as Pruitt Taylor Vince as Malcolm Rivers, the mass murderer being trialed. And Alfred Molina as Dr. Malik, Rivers' psychiatrist. You throw me the idol, I throw you the whip. So, as usual, it's been so long. Our usual format, we do memories, don't we? And look back on where we first discovered this film. I believe neither of you even knew this film existed.
I first discovered this film back in, I think it was 2024. I can't remember it so long ago. I think I used to do a podcast where we talked about maybe watching it, and then I started watching it then, but that was years ago.
Yeah.
Up until then,
never.
It somehow passed me by, which was a real surprise because I thought I knew all John Cusack films.
Yeah.
And it seems like it did really well. so I don't know how this must be.
Mr. Summers, it's the same.
Yeah, same for me. This totally passed me by. I was trying to think about. I've forgotten now, but I remember looking up what else was out at that time, and I'd seen all them.
Yeah.
But this one totally, I don't know if it went under the radar or it just didn't get that much of a push in this country or whatever. But no, considering this is right in my wheelhouse,
I think I was probably working up in London.
So, this what is this? 2003.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So I was probably too busy.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I mean, I watched this on Sky Movies. Probably however long it is between a cinema being in a film being in the cinema and it going to Sky Movies, which back then was probably about 6 months, something like that. So I did watch it then, but I'd never heard of it
until then.
As a cinema release, if you see what I mean. So same as you.
Yes, we were looking at Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. We were looking at Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, X-Men 2, Holes. That rubbish Peter Pan film, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Bruce Almighty. That was what was going on when this was coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, Old School. I definitely knew that one.
Yeah.
Love Actually and Seabiscuit. That's what. Oh, and Honey. That's what people were watching at the time.
Yeah, instead of this.
So
I think
how wrong we were. How wrong I was.
It could partly be down to because this film is twisty.
Yeah.
On a second watch, unless you're a bit geeky like us, where we actually like to see how they've done what they did to turn it all on its head, I think it's one of those films the general public necessarily, once you've seen it sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Whereas it's not, in our opinion, my opinion anyway, it deserves a rewatch. What's the problem, Summers?
I can't hear anything, that's all. But if we still got lines, I can carry on. I can hear you normally, but not like in the thing.
Yeah,
that was all. Yeah, that's right. I can carry on.
Maybe your headphones are finally bitten the.
I'm just wondering whether it was maybe just bad marketing as well, or
potentially.
Can't be marketed as good as some of the other stuff that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some big films that year though. Looking at that, that's just some of the ones that fit us that I talked about. Well, there was some other.
Love Actually.
I mean, Love Actually was everywhere, wasn't it? And I've still never seen it. And I'm happy for that. People go like, oh, I know that someone bought someone a necklace that they shouldn't have. I can hear myself saying, yeah, I know that. I don't care, though. I know it happened. I know that Andrew Lincoln held up some signs trying to get Keira Knightley to go out of him at a door. Never watched the film to get that. And
right, it's not a spotlight on Love Actually. It's a spotlight on identity.
Yeah, never get into identity. Don't you know this by now?
Well, I know that. And Hugh Jackman. Hugh, what's his name?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant got Tiffany from EastEnders and wooed her or something. And I don't need to watch the film do that. So there you go. I'll spoil it for you as well. So you don't need to watch it either now.
Okay.
And I've never seen it.
Right.
Right.
There we go.
So
You got,
there's
you got the first bit coming up.
our
know,
memories
ready?
covered, and there's also Brett's rant about Love Actually.
No, I'm just
All-
saying that's what people
All
are
right.
watching.
I know,
We should have
whoa,
watched
whoa.
this.
Yes.
Calm down.
One important thing: if you are listening along and you've not seen this film,
Yeah.
go and watch it first. Otherwise, there will be plenty of spoilers.
Yep.
And with
Yeah,
a
we
film like this,
generally-
spoilers can ruin it.
We
definitely.
cannot stress this enough. If you intend to watch the film Identity from 2003 starring John Cusack and you haven't done so, don't listen to
Well, you
this.
should have, because you had months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, push pause now and rejoin us in
Yeah.
like the 2 hours time.
It's available on Amazon. It's now a rental on Amazon. It was free when we started
You
doing
missed a
this.
chance, yeah.
So yeah, so
But
we're
bizarrely, now you've got to pay for it.
we're gonna push pause now. Right,
And we can
welcome
continue.
back. You've just seen Identity, and you're welcome.
Right.
Now we're going to talk about it.
Summers, over to you.
So, as the opening credits roll, we see various handwritten journals belonging to a convicted murderer, Malcolm Rivers, as a doctor plays back recordings from a therapy session. We see headlines relating to a case that show an insanity plea which was denied. There's a midnight hearing, and it's been called due to the fact that these journals were misfiled and not used as evidence in the trial. The doctor reading the journal is Malcolm's psychiatrist, Dr. Malik, who's also known as Dr. Octopus. He and his defense attorney argue that the evidence was intentionally suppressed by the prosecution and moved to stay Rivers' execution, and it's contended that Malcolm is legally insane. We also learn that it's the night before his execution, so every second counts.
So, first of all, can you maintain that level of excitement for the rest of this podcast?
Damn right.
Because you've started quite high.
I can only try. Like and subscribe, see if I do.
Cool. Okay. So, pretty standard thriller film genre opening. Just setting a scene. No.
I like it. I mean, it's done
I'm not
well.
knocking it. I'm just saying the way
yeah.
it plays out.
No, but it's done well. It's kind of dark, gritty. We got to save them. He's been, wrongly prosecuted, or hasn't been prosecuted right. So yeah, setting the scene.
One bit for me. Did they overdo the weather?
Yeah, that's just going through my head as well.
Like, do we need thunder and lightning all done just to add that a little bit more?
Well,
but
I
then
thought
you
that
see-
kind of makes sense as you go through it, and
I think
things
it's-
start
Well,
unraveling.
it does, but it was almost more because this was, for lack of a better, this was in the
real world.
the real timeline.
Yeah, no,
You
but
know,
But that's the point,
climate
'cause-
change was still big.
Yeah.
No,
news.
no. It's got nothing. It's
I'm joking.
it's to give to it tricks the viewer into thinking these things are happening at the same
Yeah.
time. It's
Yeah,
a parallel.
I get that, but it was just that little bit too. It
was a
just
dark
little
atmosphere.
bit too, I don't know. It was almost. It was more cheesy than it was atmospheric. It was almost like
Fair enough.
I almost needed Mike Hammer doing a voice. Yeah, it was a tough night when I first met her and she came into my detective agency. I don't know. It was no, it wasn't bad, but it was just a little bit too much. It was almost like.
See, I didn't mind it. I thought he's going to be executed. You might get some lightning come down as he's being in the chamber. Might turn him into some possessed being.
Shocker.
You don't know where that's going to go.
The limp was legendary.
So you weren't there. So that was my Halloween costume, shocker, and you missed it. Anyway,
Meanwhile,
You didn't tell me that.
as a storm rages outside, hotel manager Larry Washington is overly excited about an episode of Wheel of Fortune when George York bursts through the reception door carrying his wife, exclaiming, "She won't stop bleeding!" We then flash back to the time of the accident. George is driving through the storm with his wife, Alice, and stepson, Timmy, who are in the car. They have a blowout, and George gets out to have a look and discovers a high-heeled shoe is the cause. Flashback number two. Paris, Nevada is speeding down the highway in her convertible when she decides to light up a smoke. Don't smoke, kids. Remembering that her lighter is in her suitcase, she reaches behind to open it. As she does, items of clothing, including a shoe, fly from the case out onto the road.
I like this because we're getting the it's setting up the
Everything's
what
connected.
I'll call the Agatha Christie gathering.
yep.
We're getting the connections between it, and we're starting to get brief snippets of the type of characters that might be involved in this gathering.
Yeah, especially with George. So because when the blowout happens, he recites the, I don't know, some sort of training manual.
Yeah.
Manual. It's like foot off the gas, turn into the skid, decelerate, and we're done. It's like he's a bit neurotic.
Five.
Yeah.
Definitely
And
5 4 1 2 1.
I don't think that man has ever got the credit for how good an actor he actually is.
Yeah.
You know, he a lot of it. Yeah, okay. The I forgot his name in Scrubs now. You know, he was the and that was an amazing role where he covered a lot of emotions and stuff. But he does do the odd, really good other stuff.
He's a proper actor.
Yeah, cousin of Ted McGinley, Stan Gable, the man who jumped the shark. The chairman of Jumped the Shark, in it, or he was, when the website existed.
Yeah.
But he's really good in this, and he sets it up well by being this sort of neurotic, almost henpecked husband kind of thing. Yeah,
just trying too hard to be.
And you get a hint that he
not.
might be the stepdad as well, kind of thing. Yeah, no, really good.
Cool. Okay. So we're back at the scene with George. Alice is nagging him about the situation as she's about to get back in the car. Timothy taps on the window, calling her to his side of the car, and places his hand on the window. Alice replicates this gesture. She's hit by a car. George rushes over, and we have a flashback number 3.
Flashback number 3.
Caroline Susan is travelling in the back of a limo driven by Ed Dakota. I mean, it's just a great name. She's on her mobile, moaning to her agent when the battery dies. She demands Ed look in her bags in the front seat to receive a spare battery. Now, who remembers those days?
Yeah.
Carrying a spare mobile battery. All the time berating him for not finding it. As he's distracted, he hits Alice, who stepped out in front of him. Ed starts to get out of the car. However, Caroline tries to stop him, stating if he gets out, he takes legal responsibility. He replies, "It is my responsibility." George is huddled around. I'm getting that excited. I'm trying to reach Brett's fever pitch. It's difficult, though. George is huddled around Alice, chanting the legal position of the driver, while Ed argues with Caroline, who has refused to allow him to use her phone. He smashes the limo window and grabs it, but it's not working anyway.
Typical.
She is a bitch.
She is a biatch.
Yep.
Getting a bit parky, isn't it?
And again, we get the nice limo driver who may have a past.
Yeah.
And this is before he saves the world in 2012.
I know.
As a limo driver there.
Yeah.
He hasn't even got to his high school reunion yet.
I refer you to a Cult Faction article. I forgot what it's called now. You can say anything about Grosse Point Blank, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, again we get a measure of what George is like, because he's now reciting, the responsibility of the legal position of the driver, etc. Definitely get a measure of Ed Dakota.
He's a nice guy.
He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to run.
No.
Not in adversity.
It's his responsibility.
Yeah. Exactly, and we definitely get a measure of Caroline, who's a spoilt, failed
Hollywood
actress.
bitch, yeah. So again, the plot is thickening. We're meeting all our cast of characters,
And it's doing it quickly. It's not. There's no.
Yeah.
It's no faffing.
it's
It's no.
It's quicker than this podcast. We've talked more about it than it probably paces long.
Is it too quickly though?
I don't think so. I think it suits the style of film.
It does. I think that what makes it is they maintain that pace of it initially. So it's not like someone gets introduced quick, then there's a long slog bit, then there's someone else. It does. It's punctuated well with the
and like I guess the
scenes.
Christie remakes nowadays, where like every character gets a half-hour setup.
Backstory.
Yeah.
Anyway. Paris's progress is halted by a flooded road.
Again.
As she turns around to go back, she hits a phone line which starts to come down. We then cut back to the point of Ed and the gang's arrival at the hotel. Larry tries to use the phone to call for help. However, the line's dead. Paris, you cow. He then tells Ed that St. Jude has a 24-hour emergency ward and it's 30 miles east. Ed manhandles a protesting Caroline out of the limo and heads to get an ambulance. Paris runs into further trouble when her car breaks down. She flags down Ed.
That should be who, sorry.
Who is now coming in the opposite direction, so to speak. She tells Ed that the direction they are heading is flooded, but he's going to try it anyway because he's Ed. They reach the flooded area and can't get through. Next on the scene are the newlyweds, Gina and Lou. He flags them down. At first, they're reluctant to help, but as soon as Lou spots Paris, he decides that he wants to help.
Giggity, giggity.
Yeah, so we kind of get the feeling that no one's going to escape that place tonight.
Yeah.
Whether they try or whether they might.
The claustrophobia, isn't it, is building up. Yeah, definitely.
Again, more characters.
Yep.
Okay, cool. The group.
You know where you are.
The group arrive back at the hotel, and it's soon established that there's no way out in either direction, and that they are trapped there until the storm
Everyone's
passes.
trying to keep going now.
Larry is openly hostile to Paris as she tries to book a room based on his presumption that she is a sex worker. Well, Ed explains the situation to George and takes a look at Alice, deciding that he needs to sew up the wound on her neck. He goes off to search for a sewing kit. As he's doing this, another car pulls up to the motel. It's Officer Rhodes. He's transporting a prisoner and has also got stuck in the storm, and he wants a room. Rhodes, that's the best night of the motel's life, isn't it?
Yeah. Never been so busy.
Yeah. Rhodes attempts to use the police radio to call for assistance for Alice, but that's not working either. Bloody modern technology. Rhodes gets back in his car, and the prisoner gets back in his car, and the prisoner in the back seat, Robert Maine, taunts him about the situation.
More cast, Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
More
young-
intrigue
the-
being added. So what is the situation? Because
The
he's
young
saying you're
Busey.
screwed now.
And it's, what could go wrong with this medley of
All
mayhem and mix of people?
all the pieces are set.
And we need to give a special shout out to the hotel manager, whose name I've forgotten now. The actor.
Yep.
Because
His
again,
name
he was because he's in Eastbound and Down, and he was really good in the Jodie Foster.
John Hawkes.
The Jodie Foster. What's it called? Where she's a detective. They made a whole load of them. The first series was Woody Harrelson and
True Detective.
True Detective. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's in the
Yeah,
latest
he's in
series
that,
of
yeah,
that
yeah.
as well. You know, he again, he's very underrated. He's always that kind of character. Like he was in something we watched more recently.
He kind of needs his William H. Macy moment where he goes from almost jobbing character actor to next level character actor. 'Cause William H. Macy's never going. He's kind of has done a few leading roles, but he's not a leading man in.
A bit like Frank Grillo.
Yeah, he's just like he's your go-to character actor.
He's very good. And he established it by this point because he's kind of happy it's busy, but B, he's also like, what's going on? This is a bit weird. And obviously we find out a little bit more later on. But he's doing very well. I like him.
Although I did think he was going to go back and check out the result of Wheel of Fortune because he was so excited about that episode that when we first see him. Anyway, it's me, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Rhodes chains Maine to a toilet in the hotel room and heads over to check on Alice. During a mini montage where all the individual group members are shown on their own, we see Maine attempting to escape, and it's revealed that Rhodes appears to have a bullet hole in his shirt, but he's clearly not suffering from a gunshot wound. Caroline, remember her, heads out of the room to attempt to get a signal on her mobile and is attacked by an unknown assailant. Ed suddenly wakes up in his room and heads outside. Finding an earring on the floor, he starts to follow a trail of jewellery and hears a washer dryer making a strange noise. Inside is the decapitated head of Caroline. Larry and Rhodes arrive, and Rhodes spots that a room key is in her mouth. They retrieve the key and discover the key is number 10, which is the room Rhodes is occupying. They rush back and find Maine has escaped.
Yeah.
There we go.
So-
Escaped prisoner, one dead occupant.
We all know what's happened here.
Yeah.
Serial killer with a punctuation to their kills, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is this someone on the way to a trial in a room somewhere, and they're going to be waiting for him. Could be, or maybe it's not.
Yeah, and Jake Busey just channeling his father.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been in a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
he is just channeling his father.
Yeah.
I feel. I don't know if I've seen anything with him in that where he's established himself as his own person.
No, I don't think so. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but okay, we're back at the hearing, and Dr. Malik and various legal people are preparing to begin Malcolm's hearing. To the annoyance of the DA, the defence attorney objects, stating Malcolm has a right to be present before the hearing starts. Back at the hotel, Ed tells the group that Caroline has been murdered and that Maine has escaped. They all begin freaking out, which is actually a good thing, because a lot of the time they go, well, what should we do?
Yeah.
But they're all like, ah!
Yeah. I think I'd freak out.
Yeah.
Ed convinces them all to stay in a room while he and Rhodes head out to look for Maine. Ginny and Lou argue and go back to their rooms. She wants to leave, but Lou takes her suitcase. She then confesses to him that she lied about being pregnant and locks herself in the bathroom. Ooh. While they are arguing, though,
Arguing through the door.
while they're arguing through the door, Lou suddenly goes quiet. Ooh. Tentatively, Gina leaves the bathroom and is attacked.
There's no Tommy and Gina here. It's not.
She escapes through the bathroom window, and the rest of the gang discover Lou's body in the room.
Another one bites the dust.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, they don't waste any time, do they?
No.
No,
It's a straight through. Who's next?
Yeah. There's a lot of people to get rid of.
Just
So-
expecting
Yeah.
Angela Fletcher to turn up.
Jessica.
Jessica.
What is it, you guys with names? You got Gina over there,
Ginny.
Angela.
Oh, yeah. No, but I'm liking it. Still got a good pace. And
Yep.
you're still not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah.
It's
Because
not.
everything seems to be happening too quickly.
Yeah.
Normally, when there's one person killing someone, they have to take your time. But this is like, how the hell did he get from there to there? And it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's supernatural. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
What I like to say is it doesn't give you the time to think about it. You
Yeah.
don't get time to do it because as you're trying to work something out, the next bit's happened.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, so if that was there, right, so what was this one?
Yeah, even a bit with the bullet hole in the shirt. You don't have time to process it when you're watching it first.
And they
time.
don't dwell on it. It's literally,
Yeah.
if you weren't looking at the screen when that happened,
Yeah.
you wouldn't. Yeah. Cool. Oh no, it's not me. It's you.
Maine is escaping on foot along the road and thinks he's found a safe place to hide. But when he breaks into a building, he discovers he is back at the hotel. Rhodes and Ed catch him and tie him to a chair. Larry reluctantly takes on guard duty to watch over him with a baseball bat. Alice wakes up and Paris heads back to her room. Ed appears in Paris's room and she joins him while he takes photos of the crime scene. He explains that he used to be a cop but took medical leave after he wasn't able to save a jumper. Aww. Ed discovers that another room key near Lou's body and he is talking to Rhodes outside. They spot Larry walking from his office. He simply states that he went to get something. But when they check on Maine, he's dead, having had a baseball bat rammed down his throat. So still...
It's a way to go, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I wouldn't
Home
wanna go
run.
that way.
No.
So, yeah, it's still fast-paced, loads going on. I wasn't expecting the baseball bat ran down a throat. So that was a nice surprise.
Yep. Now we're starting to get the idea of something freaky's happening because, he clearly runs to that building and then once he gets in there...
This was where I got an idea of what was going on. This is my first clue.
Yep.
That whole bit. Because it reminded me... There was that series years ago, which I can't remember the name of now, where they all wake up in a town and they don't remember how they get there. It was who else was in
That's
it?
just a Saturday
The Black
morning Thornhill, isn't it?
Yeah, the Black Panther dude was on it. Chaswick Bosworth, whatever his name was. He was in it.
Bosworth.
Bosworth. I
Chadwick
forgot his name, you know what I mean? He was in it.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So like was it Eureka, that one?
No, not Eureka. No,
haven't
they're
seen any
all,
of these,
but they
but-
all didn't know. It was a bit like I've got a real deja vu. It's a bit like Dark Matter, but they all wake up in the town and no one knows who anyone else is. And he's got army gear on, and there's another lady who might be something else. And then they all try and work it out. And there's a hotel manager, and he kind of gives clues. And then at the very end of the series, they kind of almost get out, and then it advances to level 2, and they go out of a door, and they're on a submarine. Or
Oh,
they're
yeah,
on
it
the
does
top
ring a
of
bell,
boat,
yeah,
or
yeah.
they're in a boat or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it reminded me a bit of that. And then when he done that, I thought, right, this isn't normal then, because he's just got there and now he's back. So is this some kind of, is it are they in a mind thing, or is it something
supernatural?
Like that? Supernatural. Is
Yeah.
it there's something not quite right here? And I started looking in different places, because at first I was in murder mystery mode on like who's the killer.
And
now,
at this point, your spidey senses are starting to
now
tingle.
I'm like, okay, I'm smelling a bit. It's got a smell of a Lynchian thriller here. So and I started looking a little bit closer, but I'm really annoyed I missed the obvious thing.
Yeah.
But it was played so well, and this is where I was I had a better idea who I thought it was, and I was approved.
Cool.
Okay, so both Ed and Rhodes are convinced that Larry is the culprit, and while they're arguing, Caroline's wallet falls out of the lockbox Larry was carrying. He admits to taking the wallet, but states it was after she was killed. He then grabs Paris and holds a knife to her throat. Paris escapes his hold and inadvertently opens a freezer, and a body falls out. Larry makes a run for it and starts driving off in a truck. As he is hurtling down the road, Timmy steps out in front of him. George pushes him out of the way and takes the full force of the speeding truck.
Yep. So again, it's just bodies.
Yeah.
Poor George.
But yeah, the pace is just full on throughout. If anything, you're kind of worried at the start with deep foreboding. That's just going to drag.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those sort of slow burn noir. We haven't said that for a while, have we?
No.
Slow burn noir thrillers. But no, this is full on, in your face.
Persons unknown.
That's the one.
I just had to look for it. But and it was it was weird how the accident happened, because it was very, they filmed, what I liked about it is it was very, not graphics, not the right word, but it was very realistic. It almost just pushes the kid out and gets hit. But it's not to say blood, guts and gore, but it's quite
It's a well staged,
well done. It's not a when you read that he pushed the kid out, it isn't like a Hollywood run.
Yeah, because what you would normally,
or kind of
not even that, because you would normally see it pushes the kid out of the way, then you get like a shot of him going, whoa, and then hit. But no, it's just like done.
It's just
which
done.
is what would
I thought
happen.
that was really cool. I like that a lot. That shot, how they did that, and I was hoping he'd been a bit longer.
Yeah.
But again, the numbers are dwindling, and we wonder what's going to happen. It's me, isn't it?
Yes.
And we are back at the hearing. The case of the defence is arguing for an insanity plea, stating that Rivers has no idea about the murders he has committed, stating that he has dissociative personality disorder.
I apologise if that is not the correct term anymore.
It is dissociative identity disorder, yeah.
Okay.
He hands over the journals and points out how the handwriting is different, suggesting that the words written are written by several different people, in this case personalities. A heavily sedated Rivers arrives in a wheelchair, and we cut back to the hotel. Just was at that point, I was hoping for the reveal of like which one of them was Rivers, but again, it's so well done. Larry is tied to a chair. He's pleading his innocence. He claims that he found the body of the hotel manager, so put him in the freezer and assumed responsibility for running the hotel. That's one way to get a job. Rhodes decides that everyone is staying in the room until dawn and shuts the door. After a short while, Timmy heads in to see Alice, and Ginny starts talking about a movie where 10 strangers go to an island and begin getting killed off one by one. and it turns out they all had a connection. This makes them all try and figure out their connection.
Yeah.
Which, well, that was a Christie film, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
it
is
was,
the No
it was
and None, yeah.
So they're all trying to work out now
What have they got in common?
what they got in common and what they like, where did they work, what towns have they been to or whatever. They're racking their brains, but can they think of it? Nope.
Oh, no. Still liking it?
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, Brett, at this point, when they're wheeling in Rivers, because it starts with his legs and goes up, you're expecting it to be one of the hotel.
Well, my money
patrons.
at that point, I was like, it's going to come up and it's going to be Mr. Cusack. That was what I was thinking at the time. And then it's someone else. And I was like, oh, man, right. So what is it now? And it was like back to the drawing board again.
See, I was expecting it to be what we're seeing is way in the past, and it was an older
because you see, because that's what I was thinking as well. But I thought there's no way they're the same because you see old pictures, don't you? So I'm thinking, you're led to believe that the pictures you're looking at is what happened.
Yeah.
What we're seeing at the other time, and then you'll see who it was. But I was like, there's no way that's him. As an old man, and
no.
To be fair to him, he looks the same 20 years later as he did. So it's not like I don't get it. It's like on that bloody slight tangent. What's that one called with Kerry Costner? He's got the ranch.
Yellowstone?
Yeah. They've got someone who plays Kerry Costner like when he's 30 years younger. It's like, just put Kerry Costner, he looks the same.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry, back to...
Yeah.
Rhodes goes to check on Alice and discovers she has died. Oh, God. They discover another key near the body and decide to check George's body to see if there is one there too. The key to number 7 is in his pocket. Realising they all being picked off one by one, Ed tells Paris and Ginny to take Timmy and just keep driving till dawn. Ginny grabs Timmy and they head off. Paris is still gathering her stuff. While Rhodes and Ed are arguing, the car blows up. Once the fire is extinguished, they realise there are no bodies inside. George's body has disappeared too. A search of all the crime scenes reveals all the bodies have disappeared. They then discover they all have a birthday of May 10th. At this revelation, the ceiling collapses and all but Ed head outside. Ed goes through the booking info from each of the group and realizes that they all have names related to the states of America. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so they've all got the same birthday, and they're all kind of,
The cleverest bit, though, was I think you've not done it justice there on your notes. Sorry. But no, but it's a bit when they do the killing and they realise that it skipped a number. And then they're like, well, how's it skipped a number? And then they run to Mr. McGinley, and he's got the number in between. So it's like, but that wasn't a killing, that was an accident.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what? So that was meant to happen? And that's what makes it even more than, how can you plan something like that? And then, so it links it all in nicely, and then you get the freak out. But this was the bit then. This was the Club Silencio moment for me when he clocks the birthdays and the places. That was when I was then like, I get what this is now.
Yeah, this is the reveal moment.
And I was really annoyed that I hadn't spotted all the names before. I was like,
well, again, but it's because you don't really gets dwelled on.
It's like Arm Road,
and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as Ed is trying to figure out what's happening, he hears Dr. Malik's voice seemingly from out of nowhere, and he suddenly wakes up at the hearing. Ed recognises Malik and asks if he's blacked out again. Malik encourages Ed to tell him what's been happening, so Ed begins to explain about the storm and the motel killings. Malik then shows Ed a picture of Malcolm Rivers, asking if he recognises him. Ed doesn't. Malik goes on to explain that Rivers killed people and suffers from dissociative identity disorder, brought on by childhood trauma. He then reveals that Ed is one of his personalities and hands him a mirror. Ed freaks out, and we now see Rivers in the chair. Sorry, I got the microphone in the way. There we go. Malik tells Ed that he is being treated to remove the personalities and that one of them is responsible for the murders 4 years ago. He wants Ed to help to remove it because Ed's the stand-up guy.
Yep.
He's your go-to. So I did like this. I think the guy doing Rivers is cool.
Yep.
With his eyes. I mean, that's got to be difficult to keep up for any length of time.
No, it's all good.
Definitely.
I'm all still on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Still liking it.
Yep.
Wasn't one of Brett's choices where they're going, fucking hell.
If I'd have seen this would have been one of my choices.
Yeah, same here, actually.
Okay.
Summers.
Okay. So Ed's back at the hotel. Paris attempts to steal Rhodes' car and instead discovers documents that state he is also a prisoner being transported. Time for another flashback.
Flashback number 5, I believe.
Rhodes and Maine are in the back of a cop car. Rhodes has unpicked his cuffs and removes a blade from his sock. He plunges the blade through the driver's seat into the officer driving. He steals his clothes and puts the body in the boot. Paris tries to find Larry, but is grabbed by Rhodes, who wants the keys to the truck. Larry smashes him over the head with a fire extinguisher. Thinking he's out cold, Larry tries to take Rhodes' gun, but Rhodes shoots him. Paris runs off with Rhodes in pursuit, and then Ed finds her and tells her to stay put. Ed and Rhodes confront each other, and the ensuing gunfight results in both of them being fatally wounded. As Ed is dying, he tells Paris that he saw her on an orange grove.
Oh,
Lovely.
just like she always wanted.
So it's all crumbling and everyone's panicking.
Yep.
And at the same time, you're thinking, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dying.
Yep. So
Who's left?
Yeah, very much so. But nice pace to it, and you kind of won't expect him to be fatally wounded. So it was a nice touch because it's been built up.
Right, and it's John Cusack, isn't it?
Yeah,
So you're always thinking, he's not going to die.
he's not going to get
He's
killed.
fine.
No,
He's fine.
yeah.
It's just a scratch. It's going to be all right.
Don't kill John.
I'm playing on all
Where's
your
Yella?
houses.
Bring out Yella. Yella'll be fine. Yeah. At the hearing, Rivers is repeating Paris and Ed's conversation while the rest of the room watch on. Malik states that 10 of the personalities have been destroyed and that Rivers should be committed to a state hospital and not executed. The DA agrees, damn it. A smiling Rivers is then loaded into a prison transport along with Dr. Malik. Paris has made it to Florida. She begins digging in the earth and discovers a key to room number 1, just as Timothy appears behind her. We then get a final brief flashback of all the murders showing Timmy was responsible. Simultaneously, Rivers is in the prison transport, seemingly having a mental struggle. Malik removes the guardrail between them. As Timmy attacks Paris, Rivers attacks Malik. The prison transport screeches to halt on the open road, and the credits roll. Yes, they do.
Yep.
Timmy!
Yeah.
So it's the age-old adage: unless you see a body,
Oh yes.
he's not dead.
Yeah.
So it's a nice sleight of hand with that one. Those,
Oh, yeah.
Bum around the corner, boom.
He's kept out the way enough as well, isn't
Yeah.
he? During even when before he dies, he's kept out the way enough.
Yeah, they don't
He's
make
in
him out
there.
like a psycho kid,
No.
Yeah, and they didn't do any if it had been done by anyone else, you'd have got the weird look from the kid or something like that. It's just kind of
No, he's behaving exactly like you would expect a shy, retiring kid to behave in that
his parents
situation.
have died.
Yeah,
You know,
he's
like
just is in the background. They're looking out for him, and that's it.
Yeah,
He's not going off
100%.
Goonies style to figure it all out on his own.
Yeah.
So then, verdicts. I'll go to Paul first.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, genuinely, because I didn't know what to expect. Didn't know anything about it because I didn't listen to some 3 old guys in a podcast talk about it without pausing.
Old.
So as I said, those types of film normally drag on or whatever. This one didn't. Moved really fast. I loved all the acting. They really did well on picking the people that you'd want in those roles, like John Cusack, the lovable,
Hero.
Even Ray Liotta. he was a surprise to me because I kind of thought something would be up, and is it going to be him? I knew something was wrong about him, but no, it was great. I loved the atmosphere about it. It was, good pace, good acting, twists and turns all the way along, the whole film, and even at the end, there was a twist coming, but they even did that well. The car just stops, ends. Nice.
Oh, go on.
No, it's fine. You can.
I was going to say, it kind of reminded me of the Carrie bit at the end. It's just that little bit, where she
final,
comes out the grave. Well, no, that was all done backwards and weird, but that was almost kind of that sort of thing. It was just a little bit. The sun was a little bit too bright. The orange coats were a little bit too orange. It was that sort of.
It's too idyllic.
Too idyllic, yeah, and it just sort of, it was really cool. I like that, and obviously, like. Let's see what he's up to now. Maybe on the run with different personalities.
He's got a road movie with his other personalities in the back.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be a bus, wouldn't it? Just him sat there, no one driving.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a great film. And again, I'm really annoyed I missed it the first time round. Because maybe if we'd all gone and seen it, it might have been better and done all right. Maybe we would have got the road movie by now of him with his personalities. And
well, it still did really well at the box office as well, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
It made money.
More than doubled its money.
Yeah.
So it just happened to pass us by for some bizarre reason.
But it was a looking at it earlier, it was a tough year for publicity for films when you had all those other ones being thrown at you. And but yeah, no, it was well done. It was well acted, like Paul said. All the cast were really good. Can't really fault a lot of it. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if they could have just played it out a little bit longer. I don't know, because I wanted a bit more of it. But then works.
Maybe that would have made it.
But then it works how it did it. So it's not, and always leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
The doing the backstory with flashbacks and very short, only flashbacks to the time leading up.
Set points, yeah.
Rather than, I think the longest flashback we see is Paris's, where she's singing Happy Birthday to a bloke who's got a birthday cake on his chest. That's about probably the longest flashback we see, and even that's not particularly long. We're not. There'd be a temptation with these films to go further. Ed leaving his apartment to go and pick up the actress,
or the story
etc.
of why she became a stripper and all that
sort of stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. And
Damien.
What did you think?
Oh, sorry. Oh,
yeah.
Same as. I mean, is it perfect? No. I think the depiction of, I want to say multiple personality disorder now.
Well, that's what it was. That's what it used to be. Dissociative identity disorder.
That depiction is a bit, Hollywood. It's not really how it works in real life, but it's a trope. It's a, that's just the way it is.
It goes back to Raising Cain and John Lithgow and all that.
Exactly.
That's how it is in Hollywood.
Any psychiatrist will tell you it's a completely different thing. But that aside, it's great. The pacing is brilliant. As we said, the acting's spot on. The character development is done in such a way that it doesn't detract from the story that is actually taking place in the motel. It's really hard to find faults with it, but it's not a perfect film.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I completely get it.
Yeah.
Jake Busey.
Yeah, but even him, I mean,
Yeah, he does what he does.
He's probably got a total of 3 minutes screen time, if that.
If that, yeah.
One of them has got a baseball bat there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But fits it perfectly.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay. Scores on the doors. Mr. Summers, I'll go to you first.
Okay, I like it because it's got the Lynchian De Palma vibe, which I like, where it's all a bit out of sync and whatever. But I also like the fact it's it almost sort of Tarantino'd itself a little bit with its jumping around in, cut scenes and cutbacks and
Yeah, well, if you
crosses.
consider its time period.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And when you get to that, when you get to the end, it all makes sense type thing. Again, cast are good. I would have got rid of the scene with Jake Busey as the prisoner when he escapes and then ends up back in it, because I think it shows its hand maybe a little bit too early.
Yeah.
Because I think if that wasn't in there, that wouldn't have changed my mindset.
Yeah.
Because as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, right. Even Truman Show, like he got to the edge and then got pulled back into the middle again. Is that sort of? I might have cut that bit out just to keep it more as a murder mystery, and you find out more at the end, because I think it shows its hand a little bit too early. If you know what you're looking for, other people might not notice, but it's people like us.
Yeah, but I think you can't watch this film and not think, well, that's a bit strange. This is a weird film.
Yeah. But
It's
it's
just
weird
more than-
anyway. But it almost goes. But that almost breaks the rule of its
takes
own
you out of,
reality.
yeah,
then.
exactly. It
So
takes
then-
you out of
yeah.
this is a murder mystery
Mystery,
into
yeah, and it's I might
something
have
weird.
skipped that bit out. I mean, it's still a good scene, but you needed that a bit later.
Yeah.
Because they almost hint at it when Cusack. Well, it is what they do, but we don't know. We've seen it when he finds the earring and then finds the head later on when he wakes up suddenly and finds the head. You get the hint of it then that he's swapped or whatever,
Yeah.
but you don't realise that at the time, and that would have worked better, I think, than the kind of walk to the edge and then you're back in the middle again sort of thing. Yeah, but it's still really good and it's worth checking out. It's got to be a solid 8, I think. I think there's a couple of bits. The fact that I did get it stops it going higher. But it was close. I think if it hadn't had that bit, it might have been a 9, because it just put me on alert, and I didn't want that. 8, solid 8, and well worth a watch and even a purchase. If there was like a special edition, bells and all, behind the scenes making of with extra trimmings, I would buy the Blu-ray, because it's that good. It deserves to be on my shelf.
Well, I ended up buying it from Amazon because I had to rewatch it to do all this. So
I've still only watched it once.
So I'm going to go for a 9, unapologetically, because I think compared to what we've given some of the films in the past, it deserves it. And purely because of all the good stuff we said. Is it perfect? No. Is it near perfect? Yeah. You know what? For its genre, I'm willing to stand by a 9, because I think it warrants it. The script is cool. Storyline's cool. It's a bit fresh. There are twists and turns. It's a bit different to all the other stuff out even now.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, it would have been if I think I'd have watched it at the time, it may have been a 9.5.
okay.
Yeah, it would definitely be like-
I think the only reason I'm not going even higher now is because it would be a 10 if it would be a film that I'd go back to again and again and again. Those.
But that's the thing with these type of films.
I know, but that's where I think it kind of lets it down. A true classic for me, or a true outstanding 10, would be something that I go back to again and again. And that's probably through no fault of its own. It's just that kind of film. Oh, I've got it now.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Because I do think if I watched it again, I wouldn't. There might be the odd detail that you missed the first time, but I don't think it's got the layers of,
No,
that
it doesn't.
symbolises that, or
No.
that could mean that.
No, as someone who watched it twice in the space
Yeah.
of a couple of weeks, there aren't.
I think that's
There's no kind of where the director's gone, ha, you missed this.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not really any of that in it. It's not
The Memento or
done
whatever.
with that sort of
Yeah.
level of complexity. It's a straightforward.
And a backwards
story.
talking midget would have put it up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but as I said, compared to a lot of the films we reviewed over the last 3 or however many years, this deserves to be high on our rankings chart.
Fair dues. I'm going for 8. And for very similar reasons to I think it showed its hand a little too soon to make you, and the rug pull wasn't quite so dramatic because of the scene with Jake Busey not managing to get away from the hotel, i.e. going back into the middle again. That
I just think you guys are being a bit unfair and comparing that to no disrespect, but to a lot of people that would just watch it and maybe haven't watched as many films as us.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it's just that.
But I think it's not necessarily that it gives, because it doesn't really give anything away.
No, but
what it does, it sets you up for
Yeah.
something weird is happening here. Whereas if it had just shown him making his way into that canteen or whatever it was,
just wandering back
and hiding under a table.
Yeah, or even if he couldn't escape the storm and had no choice to go back.
Or even
So
there's a fence there and he just
something like
couldn't
that.
get through the fence. It was like metaphoric that he was trapped there.
Yeah.
That would have gone, he's had to go back.
Yeah.
He can't escape at the moment. They're all trapped there or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he got to the floods and had to go back.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
Yeah.
But as soon as he just sort of walked back into the middle, I'm like, okay, this isn't what we think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
that changed my mindset on it completely.
So
Then.
if they hadn't have done that, then it scores much higher. But overall, it's a damn good film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's well worth a watch. Unfortunately, if you haven't watched it and you managed to listen to all this podcast, then we've ruined it for you.
So
but
we gave everyone ample warning.
We even did a
warning.
pause. We even
Yeah.
paused it for you so you could go and watch it and come back. And we rang the spoiler bell, so don't moan at us.
So let me...
And it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no one's got an excuse.
Yeah.
We had no excuse.
I'm going to sort this and see where it comes up in our rankings. Oh, it's surprisingly quite a way down.
Told you it would be.
I've lost it now. What's it called?
Identity.
So it ranks... Actually, it's not that low, to be fair. It ranks at number 7
Oh, fair
on
play.
25. So funnily enough,
What's above it?
above it on 25 as well, to be fair. So there's 3 films on 25. Gross Point Blank. And then below it, on 24.5, is Theatre of Blood, which is a Stone Cold classic as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I gave it a 9.
No,
so
just remembering
love that film.
how many films we've gone through.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's ranked at number 7 in the pantheon of cult faction movie charts, whatever you want to call this particular section.
Cool.
So it's got the same points as, I say, Gross Point Blank and Office Space. So technically you can say it's joint 6th, maybe. I can't be bothered to faff about.
Cool.
There
I
we
think
go.
it deserves that.
Yeah. So it's up there with Gross Point Blank, Office Space, The Thing, House, Invaders from Mars, and Train to Busan, which is our top-rated film on 27.
It's a great film.
It is a great film.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that one, kids.
I got 9s across the board, that one did.
Yeah, fantastic film.
Hmm.
Almost as good as that one where they there's loads of people and they meet up at that motel because there's a storm going on. Can't remember what that is.
No. We were going to do a
Twister.
podcast on it years ago.
Twister?
Right then. So, Identity has finally been...
Identified.
Well, now, it's been recorded. Let's not jinx it or anything by something terrible
That's why
happening
we should
in the
do a
editing
live
process.
YouTube stream or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, just to cover it. So that now means the spotlight turns to a choice from Mr. Summers. I am going to say what we always say when Mr. Summers has a choice. We have a veto if we decide to use it, but I wouldn't be
All right,
surprised if
fuzz
his
box.
second choice is worse than the one that we vetoed. So, what is your choice?
I'm really excited about this one because I've wanted to watch this for ages and
Have you
haven't
seen
had a
it?
chance to. No, I've seen bits of
okay.
it. So this is a
That's not necessarily a
genuine.
good thing.
No,
this
but
is
it actually makes you feel a little bit more positive.
Really?
It's not going to be invading mice from the planet 9 or some...
Brett. Could be anything.
Okay, I'll give you the rundown first because you may have seen it.
Okay.
It is a 2009 American comedy.
Right.
Comedy.
So far,
okay.
so
It
good.
is written by Jared and Jerusha Hess and directed by Jared Hess, the man behind Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
You know, you're getting
Not a Napoleon Dynamite fan, I've got to be
it
honest.
stars Michael Angarano, Jermaine Clement, Jennifer Coolidge, and Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
We like Sam Rockwell.
Yep.
Jennifer Coolidge, Stifler's mum.
Yep.
Jermaine Clement, Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I can't remember the other dude. And it's about a teenage author whose fantasy story is plagiarized by an established author.
Mm-hmm.
And it is called Gentlemen Broncos.
No. As in, no, I haven't seen it.
I've wanted to watch this. I've seen bits of it, and I'm like, I need to watch this film.
Okay.
And it is on. I just need to switch windows. I believe it's on Amazon. Well, you might have to buy it or whatever it is, or rent it. It is on. Yeah, it is on Amazon. Sky Store to £3.49, Amazon Prime £3.49, and Google Movies and TV £3.49. And yeah.
Okay, so 2009 was that?
2009, Gentlemen Broncos, directed by Jared Hess, and it's from what I've seen, I would call it a sci-fi comedy about a boy who's got an idea of like a fantasy sci-fi novel, and I think goes to like a convention and shares it with like a famous guy. He just nicks the idea, runs with it.
Okay.
And obviously what he tries to do to get it back and get his revenge and all that sort of thing. So it's probably based on a true story, because I imagine that's probably happened to someone.
There we go then. Gentlemen Broncos.
Rated 6.2 on IMDb.
Yeah, we don't listen to them.
No, that's true.
No, that's not bad for IMDb.
Yeah.
The amount of bad reviews, random reviews they get.
Okay. So, it's time for our shutdown procedure.
Oh, God.
Trays in the upright position, etc., etc. So, as we always say...
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Anything else you need to do on YouTube to get
Well,
quality content like this
subscribe,
every couple of weeks?
and enable notifications.
Yes.
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Whatever we do that's new will get notified onto your channel straight away, so you can see it quicker and allow us to move up the algorithms of YouTube.
Yes.
That's the big difference now.
That's a new one on me. But
Yeah.
What he just said,
Yeah.
do that.
Do that.
Enable notifications. Once you like it at the top, you can click enable notifications and we will appear at the top of your feed.
Cool. So obviously you can comment on this video on YouTube, or if you would like to email us, you can do so via
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
And if you want the latest news, reviews,
Well, maybe
comment
just
pieces,
where all the podcasts are nowadays.
or do you know where all the
There isn't
podcasts
much
are?
news to read.
Yeah, you can go
that
to.
goes more on the social media stuff now. Cultfaction.com.
It's still our mothership. It's just a
Yeah.
bit lighter on content than it used to be.
But there is still a lot on our social medias, on the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok, and all the other ones.
Yeah.
Blue butterfly thing, whatever that's called.
Yeah, I've not bothered with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, just search for us on social media.
Not
You'll
Twitter.
find us.
X, well, we're on there, but we don't post much on there because it's evil.
It's just a platform.
Yeah,
The
but
platform itself is not evil. Don't blame the don't blame the game. Blame the player or whatever it is.
No, but everyone on it is now. It's like it's just like all the people that moan about everything seem to.
Yeah, but
just
Threads
be-
is boring because everyone's so nice to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
Oh, you're never happy, the pair of you.
No, I got no problem with Twitter.
too nasty.
No, I got nothing wrong with it. I'm on X all the time. I
Fight,
like watching
fight.
arguments.
Yeah.
It's great.
You bitter old man.
Right then. So I have been your host, Damien Hicks. I have been ably assisted and joined by.
Paul Hawkins.
And Brett Summers.
There's nothing left to say but goodbye.
Farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen, good night.
Superman.